Trial. 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 Trial.
I may have fucked up and I may be about to blue screen in
Trial.
very soon. But we'll see, right? Hello guys and welcome to this week's Final Fantasy XIV stream.
Trial.
I've got really bad heartburn and hiccups from shoveling food down my throat. So please be patient with me if I'm hiccuping my way through this. It's because I tried to eat food and my body's natural instinct is to rebel against me consuming anything.
Trial.
Anyway, hello E, I hope you're doing well. Anywho, doodle poodle. The plan today, because I actually have one for once, incredible, I know, is that we are going to start off by finishing the Bard role, or the physical DPS role quest. I'm going to do the Bard level 80 quest, and then we're going to go do the capstone quests, and I will probably cry, is my guess. If we have time afterwards, I might do some roulettes, or I might do the raids. You know, it's been a day. That's all I can say really, is it definitely sure has been a day. And we just push through, you know? You keep trying, and that's all you can do. So, pop that on.
Trial.
Transition this way into the GP, as we call it. There we go. Yeah, you know, I feel like it sure has been a day is about as close as I can get. I love how it rains inside the Crystarium through this roof that apparently is made up of many tiny holes. I also love that it specifically rains here. When you move here, completely gone. I guess it's this empty space here. But, like, I don't know, it's pretty cool, but also confused me a bit. Because I are dumb. It just sounds really nice though. I completely forgot to turn my game audio up, so bear with me on that. There we go. That's better. But yeah, basically, that's the plan for today. We're just gonna head straight in with the physical DPS quests, and yeah, I feel like every time I stream I say, sorry, I'm a bit out of it. My excuse this time around is that I've had a headache here for like the last 24 hours, and it's not bad enough to be debilitating, it's just bad enough to be really annoying. So drink lots of water. Well, it's apple juice, but the 3-hour meeting that I was in earlier really didn't help with that one. Yeah, I get dehydration headaches quite often, and normally they go away, like I'll like go to sleep and they'll go away, but this one's been with me all day, so unfortunately shit's rough. When we last left off with the physical DPS quests, we were trying to work out Maeve, my friend, thank the gods you're here. Ever since we parted ways, I've been exhausting myself running all over the Crystarium, questioning anyone and everyone, hoping someone might have seen Andrea, but alas. Only the Crystarium? Of course, surely there's a limit of what a man with meagre financial resources can accomplish. Never mind that. For it but recently dawned on me that the vision you beheld of Renderay's past could hold clues for which we've been desperately searching. When you first described it to me, I felt as though I'd heard it before, and I had. My wet nurse had told me the same exact story when I was still a boy. 'Twas a tale of a courageous hunter who, together with their comrades, embarked on a quest to slay a notorious mark, a great horned beast. They came upon their quarry in the desert, and there attempted to lay it low, and asked the beast at a singular strength and the hunter a final weakness, fatal, and so in the ensuing struggle her comrades were killed, leaving her, the sole survivor, to swear vengeance. Would you not agree that your vision is a perfect match for this tale? Renderay is a celebrated hunter, the hero I so admired in my childhood. After that tragic day, the hunter resolved not to rely upon others, and instead soothed the beast by herself. She somehow found a way to compensate for her weakness. Anyway, my recollection of the tale is likely riddled with errors. We should ask Miss Elvira to recount it in full. She was a bounty hunter herself before she entered into our service, you know? In light of all this, I should share with you an interesting theory concerning all the virtues I had from a hunter. Apparently, each appears to be driven by particular memories, moments that forever changed each of these fallen heroes. Makes sense, doesn't it? Renderay being a hunter of notorious marks in life and in death. I don't know why it never occurred to me before. But if that is indeed the reason for why she behaves as she does, then the more we learn about Renderay's adventures, the better our chances of predicting where she'll turn up. All the more reason to go and see my former wet nurse. Miss Elvira lives in Gate Town on Clusia. Let us be off then. Me too. Thank you. I really hope it does too. So we left off last week in these quests. We had helped this guy find Renderay, where we had a vision of all of her buddies getting killed, and then we discovered that the dude had a bunch of rich friends. No, the dude was the son of a rich guy, and some people made fun of him, and then his dad refused to pay for him anymore, so now he doesn't know what he's doing. That's essentially the long and short of it. He's now like, help, how do I exist where I'm not being financially supported by my dad? And you go, it's okay, we'll help. I wanted... Take a look at that. Properly stalled out at level 10 now, or rank 10 for my chocobo. Here we go. Hello there, you're a friend of Reek's. Nope, I want to talk to you, Lurik. Also, I've still got cotton set in my mouth here, so I'm sorry if I'm liberally applying lip balm. The wetness who raised me for practically the entirety of my childhood. She was bonded to my family and lived with us in the city at the time, but when I came of age, she was forced to leave. Now, you've rendered such a strapping young man, but I can't imagine you came to Gatetown just to pay me a visit, my little Reek. Not in front of him, if you please. But to answer your question, we did in fact come to see you. There were stories you told me as a child of a courageous hunter. Was that hunter perchance the Warrior of Light, Renderay? Of all the reasons you could have had. Aye, those stories were of Renderay. Greatest bounty hunter for a day, the legend someone he aspired to become. Less so after the flood. It was still fresh in everyone's minds when I was younger. For all the good they'd done in life, none could deny the chaos they sowed in death. Sin-eaters. But despite all of that, me and my mates still looked up to her. We all knew all her feats and swore to preserve them, in secret if need be, that she might inspire future generations as she had ours. So years and years later, when you wanted to hear tales of adventure and heroism, couldn't help but share with you the ones nearest and dearest to my heart. I only wish we hadn't had to change all the names. Then it's true. The hero I looked up to as a child, whose tale of daring do drove me to take up the bow as you had, to pester you for training that I might become a bounty hunter. It was her. Miss Sawara, Maeve and I are hunting Andrea, and we believe that one of the stories you shared with me may help guide our search, namely the one about the great horned beast that killed her friends. Will you tell it to me again? Wicked White, is that... Oh, my little Reek. Very well. Even as a young hunter, Renderay's incredible hearing was unparalleled. She could track a quarry through a forest by the most minute sounds of their passing, from miles away even by some accounts. Even the most subtle and stealthy beats never eluded her for long. A misplaced foot, snap branch, eventually a Renderay would know, and her aim was always good and true. She grew older and honed her skills further, she set rise on bigger prizes. She became a hunter of notorious marks, and together with the comrades earned fame and fortune. As their reputation swelled, so too did their egos. Only the most dangerous game would suffice, and so they resolved to hunt the Scourge of Norvrand, the Devourer of Souls, Balamkits. But what Renderay did not realise was that her greatest strength would prove her undoing, for when she faced Balamkits, the beast roared with such force that it brought her to her knees. Helpless, she could only watch as it claimed the lives of her beloved comrades and fled. After burying the hunters and vowing she would one day avenge them, she took to the road once more. She met Ardbert and his fellow warriors of light, and for a time she accompanied the fledgling heroes in their adventures. To them she was a breath of fresh air, a vibrant young woman who savoured every moment and found joy in the simple pleasures. They knew naught of her fallen friends, or how their deaths weighed heavy upon her still. Party wanted the realm, performing many great deeds and growing ever stronger, as did Renderay. Willing Clusia, she even devised a means to defend against the powerful rule that had been her downfall that fateful day. They're friends, and I want to hug them all. Malengation and adventure in Raktica, a rumour reached Renderay's ears. Balamki, Scourge of Norvrand, Devourer of Souls, had been spotted wandering the city of swamps. 'Twas a golden opportunity, but to seize it would be to face the beast alone. She could not wait for Ardbert and the others, nor could she ask that they forsake their sworn duty. Perhaps it was just as well, for the memory of her defeat still haunted her. The courageous hunter had allowed a single fear to take root in her heart, the fear of losing her new companions as she had her old. So she did a stupid thing. Was that Renderay ventured forth in secret, resolved to slay her hated foe, Balamkits alone. And with all her strength and guile, the legendary hunter did just that. Vengeance claimed, she rejoined Ardbert and the others, and never spoke of that terrible battle twixt her and the dread beast. From that day forward she was Renderay, the warrior of light, and the deeds of her and her comrades would be celebrated forevermore. Strange to think that the woman I admired when I was young would become the Sin-eater I swore to slay. What she became doesn't change who she was. Even if the tales were a little embellished over the years, they were rooted in truth. She was and will always be a hero to me, and to you, I hope. Thank you, Miss Silvara, for everything. I promise I'll visit you again soon. So Maeve, remember that theory I told you before about the virtues being driven by powerful memories? Vendra is reenacting the journey leading up to her confrontation with Balamkits, the one that took her from Armrang to Calusia. Then her next destination must be... the Raktica Greatwood, wasn't it? Right, that was where she laid low the beast at last, in the city of swamps to be precise. And so that is where we shall go. Let us away. There's an awful lot people don't know about Renderay, or the world for that matter. So wherever you go and whatever you see, remember not to take it at face value. Don't just accept what others tell you is good and true. Listen to your heart, decide for yourself, and be safe. Maeve, it's such a pleasure to meet a friend of Reek's. His parents never hesitated to provide him with all the wealth and opportunities they could, but when it came to love and support, well, all I can say is that it's a miracle the boy turned out as well as he did. One can never have too many friends or too much support. That goes for you as well, I should think. Aww. And don't you be giving me those honey nut feels. Not about those honey nut filios. Not honey nut filio type person, I say, knowing full well that I very much am. Me forgetting that I can fly? Never, that would be... Someone else looks around shiftily. Definitely somebody else who forgot that they could fly. Definitely 210%, not me. Right. Seems so much bigger and stronger than me. Though to be perfectly honest, the way she carries herself even now bespeaks confidence I cannot help but envy. But never mind that. We have a virtue to hunt. Let us commence our search at once, and keep your weapons at the ready, my friend. It's a good thing it's capped at level 76, because I don't know my level 80 ability. About time our luck took a turn for the better. There she is. What? Now? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Wish you were all here with me, but I know it's better that you're not. We have a score to settle, you body blasted, and this time I'm ready for your tricks. I scarred. Prepare for me to die a lot. Okay. That's what I want to use it. Dope. Got you now, you bastard. Oh, 30-second cooldown? God, I wish. How nice would it be if fucking second win had a 30-second cooldown. Very nice is the answer, by the way, in case you were wondering. You'll pay for taking them from me. Like I'll let you roar again. Got plenty of arrows left. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Electric Whisker is a great... great ability name. Ah, beans. Without you roar, you're nothing. My fault, my failure. That's why I have to do it alone. our friends pop in and are like, you dumb fuck, you can't do this shit alone. Do you want to know something really bad? If only I'd been this strong back then, they'd still be alive. I accidentally spoiled myself in a major way for the capstone quest, and even though I've been trying to forget it, every so often I remember it, and it annoys me that my brain, which is normally so forgiving of spoilers, I think because it's something I knew I was going to get to like soon, rather than like, sometime vaguely in the future I'll be like playing that. What the? Where is this coming from? I won't let it end like this. We won't. God damn it, Render. Made it in the nick, I see. You hurt? Don't worry, I've got you. The lone wolf just had to do it on her own terms. Oh, but why are you tanking this? You're very clearly... Don't tell me you followed my trail. Tell you about it after we kill this bloody bastard, I love it. Something's wrong. It's shrugging off our attacks. It's coming for me and Render. Keep your distance. I love that it's like the power of friendship saves the day, almost. Nilebert is a bad puggy. Gather round Nilebert. Lend him your strength. Can't get out of AoEs. Don't worry about medicating. DPS. Gonna roar again? The hells you will. Got plenty of arrows left for you yet. Well struck. Keep it up. It is! It looks so cool! This is just... Even though it's a pretty simple fight, it's a lot of fun, and I like it's... Of course, like, they wouldn't let the lone wolf, like, go it alone. Of course not. What sort of friends would they be? Don't stand in it, Silver. You'll get a... Stand directly in AoE. Summoning all its strength for something big. Finish it. I stood straight in that one, so... Everyone, to me. I'll lend you my power. Together, we will avenge my fallen friends. Ah, wouldn't that be cool? God, Monster Hunter World is a game that I really need to get in on. Phew. Now I have inevitably a second session coming up, which I will also need to not die in, which may be slightly more difficult because I won't have a bunch of friends to help me. Daffle bugger. Everyone alright? Ah, but I don't know what to say. Thank you, everyone, and I'm sorry for trying to go it alone. Why, pray tell, do you even try to do something so foolish? If we'd been here from the first, it wouldn't have been anything even approaching a challenge. Back in the day, I was a bounty hunter. Told you that much. But I haven't told you about my old partners. Together we tracked and claimed countless notorious marks around Northrend. We were the best in the business. Everyone knew our names and our reputation. They called us legends, and somewhere along the long run we started to believe it too. Then we set our sights on Balankids. Survived, they didn't. I swore vengeance, but had no idea how to go about pursuing it. Then I met you lot, and thought that maybe with your help, I might just have a fighting chance. So you see, I'd never intended to keep it all a secret, it's just, you never asked, and since I'd rather not talk about it. Easy to live in the moment, you know. The next town, the next job. The weeks flew by, and after a time I started having second thoughts. I'd lost those closest to me before. I didn't want to live through that again. Are we or are we not comrades, through thick and thin? These bonds of fellowship between us must come before or else, otherwise they may as well not exist. You say the thought of losing us pained you? What of our feelings? What of our loss? What if we'd not arrived when we did? You saved our lives more time than I can count. How dare you refuse to let us do the same? And without those keen ear views of yours, I'll never know what bollocks Brandon and Albert Westbrook are putting me behind my back. And ignorance is not bliss, let me tell you. This one's worth a fortune, and fame besides. I'll wager we won't have to pay for our drinks when we get back into town. Oh god, not another night to remember. Don't you worry, you're pretty head over our fearless leader's questionable constitution. Take pride in the victory, for the small folk will sleep easy once they hear of Balamkeats' demise, until Ardbut's drunken snoring wakens them from their slumber. And on that note, I think it's time we quit this place and run away. I trust that next time you decide to hunt deadly game, you'll do us the courtesy of extending us an invitation. And then I thought I was doing you a favour by keeping up my personal affairs, selfish as it was. Oh, fine, but if you go and die on me, I'll pay a necromancer to raise you from the dead so I can kill you out of spite. Is that us to be? Agreed. Now then, mind cutting off whatever it is you need to take back as proof of the kill? I don't want to lose our reward in a technicality. Such a fine crystal. Why not hold on to it as a memento of this occasion? I just assume, whenever I see necromancy, I just assume it's you. Wake up, damn you. Hello? What's wrong with you, huh? It's the second time your so-called gift has cost us a chance at slaying Andrea. Seems so. You know what? I've had enough. Enough, I say. Don't need your help. I'm perfectly capable of hunting the Sinitra on my own. Good luck with that. He has a really cool bow. We'll be given your final payment and we'll be free to go our separate ways. I like that fight. The power of friendship. I have to say though, I am serious. Every time I think about Ardbert's little static, I get so confused because, like, they've got 3 tanks, 2 DPS, and a healer, including Ardbert, who's apparently sometimes a tank and sometimes a DPS. 2 of those tanks are paladins. Got there eventually. What the hell? He is, but then, like, in that last fight, he was solidly tanking the boss. Like, make up your mind, dude. Are you a DPS or are you a tank? He's a warrior, pre-Shadowbringers meta changes, that's what it is. It is the 3 tanks, 1 healer, 2 DPS. It just, It baffles my mind. I love them so much with all my dear heart. But it's so, what a bad, like, somebody needs to sit Albert down and be like, hey, just because meta is dead, it doesn't mean you can completely ignore party composition. Exactly. Like, I don't understand. Like, seriously, it's at some point Maeve has all these flashbacks and they go, like, call up Albert and they're like, hey, dude, what the fuck? What is with your party comp? Like, two paladins, a warrior, a white mage, a black mage, and a bard. I'm an idiot, and even I can tell that's not the best party comp in the world. Like, dude, at least get a physical, maybe you know, a warrior, like, change to samurai or something. Be a physical DPS. It baffles the mind. It really does. Honestly, I don't know why I ever placed faith in you. Such a disappointment. Consider this a formal dissolution of our partnership. Let none ever again speak the names Reek and Maeve in the same breath. Yes, never again. And with that, I bid you good day. Not an excuse of what you said. I only hope you can find it in your heart to forgive him. Take some time to think it over, then come and see me. Oh, and take this for your troubles. Whoops, I solidly skipped over that one. That's the thing. Well, that's the thing. Like, but they pick up Yuri. They pick him up as another DPS. Like, I don't understand. Shaking. I mean, to be fair, like, Lamet is a white mage, so she doesn't really need a co-healer. She's pretty good as she is, but at the same time, you know, Maeve's like, ring ring, hello, Arbor? Yes, I'd like to speak to you inside my own head. Hey, dude, quick question, what the fuck? Like, why? Just why, though? And Arbor appears in front of them and is like, why are you doing this? What does this gesture even mean? We don't have telephones in Eorzea, or the first. What does this mean? Supposed to be more likely to be a ring ring, Arbor, hello? But then you just look like you're using a Bluetooth. She does. Like, she is the, as is always the case with white mages, she's the true heart of the static. She's like, you guys are useless, let me pick you up. And she's got a great DPS boost buff. Sure, a talented man like yourself is needed all over the realm, so thank you for sparing a moment to hear me out. Since you two parted ways, Reek has come to visit me several times. Though he's in blessedly good health, I worry for his spirits. Think he may have been the only friend he's had for some time. Considered journeying to the Crystara myself to look in on him, but I find travel rather difficult these days. If he would go in my stead, it would put my heart at ease. I mean, I guess. It does as well. She sees Ardbert fat on the floor and she's like, you fucking idiot. You know, she's getting that Good Samaritan title. Always be grinding. It's still raining. Every time it rains here, I just think, God, I wish it was raining here IRL. Like, I'd really like a good thunderstorm when I'm all tucked up in bed and comfortable. A good thunderstorm would just, like, make everything perfect. I'm trying to work out, do we have a confirmed order on how they joined? Because it seems like it was, like, Ardbert, Lamet, I don't know when they picked up Silver. I want to say they picked up Nilebert. I want to say they picked up Nilebert before, well, obviously they picked up Rangeray last, but I think they picked up Nilebert before they picked up, okay. It must be on a wiki somewhere, I'm just desperately trying to think. For some reason, I thought Nilebert was before Rangeray, because I thought when I was doing his thing there were... Yeah, because I don't think Rangeray was in, like, the fight when you're doing, like, Nilebert's fight, or Nielbert as I called him for months on end, days on end, I should say. Me hearing somebody say Nileberт and still saying Nielbert got planned recently. Perhaps someone will have noted his passing. Quick to the Gamer Escape Wiki. New Reek for Mr. Lordling. If he ain't at his usual table, then I've no idea where else to look. It definitely is, and I'm definitely just dumb. Pardon me. I want class and job quests, role quests. Does this... Oh, Brandon. Present. Let's put all this. Okay. This. Yes. That. Yeah. To be honest, I'm trying desperately to remember Lamet's session play and completely forgetting. I'm sure it must be on, like, the Gamer Escape Wiki. Like this right anymore. Last I saw him, he was moping about like someone short tomorrow. I'm sure he'll turn up eventually. I want to retainer and Eric, I have to say. Ulrich's partner. I was with Lambert, remember? Well, I was stressed, because after you left, we headed straight to Raktika. We'd heard a rumour Andrea was there, and Lambert wanted to strike while the iron was hot. By the time we realised we were overmatched, it was too late. I saw Lambert fall, and when the need to set her sights on the others, I fluttered. Call me a coward if you like, but my cowardice saved my life. Wicked way, I still remember looking back as they ran and seeing Lambert rise to his feet. Told everyone what had happened to warn them off the hunt. Some listened, but a few bloody fools took up their weapons and joined the hunt. Glory hungry imbeciles, not one of them has returned. Didn't expect Lyrique to be one of them neither. I remember thinking it odd, especially when I saw him leave for Raktika alone. Meeting him there, I presume. Good luck, friend, but I've no doubt that you're going to your doom. Well, there we go. Oh, for sure. For sure. Maybe that's why we don't have a second healer, because Lamet's like, you guys are useless, and I'm the only person holding you guys together, so I can totally do it by myself. Or, you know, Albert's a warrior, so he can still DPS without being quite as squishy as the other deep seas. I really wish I could remember who was. I might go take a look in the inn later, actually, or I'll just look on the Gamer Escape Wiki. Probably. Okay, they don't say anything different. Right. F14. Will not forget that I can fly this time. That would be someone else who did that the first time, and definitely not me. Okay, spoilers. So, I mean, from the listing in this, it goes Lamet, Brandon, Nilebert, and Renderay. Plus Silver at, like, some point. I think possibly immediately after Lamet. Lahi. But melodic piano Lahi. Lahi, but sung by somebody with operatic tones. Hey up, me duck. Maeve, why are you here? Don't tell me you came for me. It's horrible. It's horrible. Andrea, she's... Ah, beans. I thought you remains and hearken to my words. I've come to lay your soul to rest, alone, as you yourself faced Balankeets a century ago on this very ground. Oh, oh boy, Lambert. Oh gods, no. Bad content. Fredere created themselves an entire static. With, once again, 2 tanks. Don't tell me, you beheld a vision of my past just now, didn't you? Yeah, and I wish I didn't. I thought as much. Wasn't but a moment ago that I confronted them. Awfully useful, that trick of yours, though I can't understand why you kept using it every time you ran into Andrea. Believe me, I was just as surprised as you were. Huh? So it wasn't something you did deliberately? Good to know. Anyway, unintentional or not, at least I won't have to convince you of what I saw. She's turned Lambert and those other hunters into sin eaters like herself. A human axeman, a Galgant swordsman, a dwarven healer, an elven mage. Looked awfully familiar, didn't it? She's rebuilding her fellowship. She's remaking the Warriors of Light. But for the life of me, I can't understand why. I mean, I understand why she came here in the first place. She's reliving the hunt for Balankeets. But Rendere slew the beast by herself. The stories were clear about that. Actually... What? They were there too? Then the stories were wrong? History? Changings told by people? Why did I ever think I could do this alone? I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me for all the things I said, Maeve. All the things I said, running through your head. I've regretted my behaviour ever since the day we parted ways. It was stupid and nonsensical and utterly pointless. It happened about 5 minutes ago. I'm not sure I could even tell you why I did what I did. It's fine. Water onto the bridge. My arm hurts. What have I done to it? Must have been the way I was sitting earlier. Thank you, my friend. I hope it's alright if I call you that. Right then, Andrea should be around here somewhere. Still on the hunt for Balankeets, I expect. Not that she'll ever find it. No doubt Lambert and the others are with her too. He and I may have had our differences, but I'd not wish that fate on my worst enemy. It is indeed the cursed static. He deserves to be laid to rest. They all do. Rendere most of all. She is my hero, and if I have to kill her to save her soul, then so be it. But this is too much for even the best hunter to handle alone, and I'm far from the best. The only way to see this through is together. You and me, my friend. What say you? I asked for a word and you give me a nod. Fair enough. Before we resume the hunt in earnest, though, let us return to Gate Town and let Miss Alvaro know all is well. After all, you wouldn't have come unless she sent you. You know, thinking on it, it's like they put a group together to do dungeons in Secret World. That's really what it is. Why do they have 2 to 3 tanks? Well, I should really set one of these as my home point, so when I hit return, I'm not ping-ponging between them, but maybe they are doing FAQ, that's what it is. Prepare your tumbies to get spinnied, as it were. It's time for my favourite stupid mount of all. This is true. So yeah, we've solved the mystery. They were planning to do FAQ, and then they fell into the wrong game and decided to be Warriors of Light instead of Bees. Bees of Light. Maeve, what a pleasure to see you again, and in the company of little Reek, no less. Am I right in assuming you patched things up? Should like to think so, yes, and it's all thanks to you. Had you not implored them to give me another chance, I might still be sitting alone in the swamps, dwelling on my myriad failings. And you, my friend, I know not why you sought her out on your own, but I am glad that you did. Miss Elvira is perhaps the only person who truly cares for my well-being, but she has no one to look after her. Don't be silly, Reek. I have you, don't I? Before you start blabbering about how you wish you could properly reward Maeve, as I can tell you're about to do, know that I prepared a hearty meal just for them. That's very thoughtful of you. Nevertheless, I shall see you both duly compensated once we've claimed the bounty for Andrea. Claim it we shall, for united, Reek and Maeve are unstoppable, is what I would like to say, but I know my own limitations better than anyone, who would be prudent to make proper preparations at this juncture. You too should see to it that you're ready for the struggle ahead. It will be a mighty one indeed, but well worth the effort, my friend. Risotto al nero. Simple. What a culinary experience that must be tasted to be believed. Be remembered to remain good friends from now on. Pardon me? Maeve, my friend, my partner, old buddy, old pal. I trust you're ready? Good, good. That's very good indeed, for before you depart to face Andrea for what I pray is the final time, I have a confession to make. I may have been somewhat misleading when I intimated the tremendousness of my partial prowess. In truth, it rather pales in comparison to yours. Ah, huh. Gather you are not unaware of this. Truly, you are as perceptive as you are mighty. My defence, I must say that when I realised what an exceedingly powerful warrior you truly are, I was dumbstruck. I struggled to conceive of how even to broach the subject. Furthermore, I must admit that the great majority, nay all of our efforts to hone our skills in preparation for battle to come have been entirely for my benefit, that the disparity between us might not be so readily apparent. I think my insecurity drove me to postpone this fateful day for so long. In my cowardice, I allowed Andrea to assemble a party of followers, where before we only had to contend with the one foe, we must now confront 5. And for all my preparation, I'm still no more likely to be an asset to you than a hindrance. Perhaps that need not be the case. In discussing this grim reality with Miss Elvira while you were away, we hit upon a potential stratagem. I heard noise in my kitchen, that's why I took my headphones off. Recall you rent a race greater strength than weakness, have preternatural hearing. We can be reasonably certain that Andrea is possessed of it as well. Therefore, if you were to fashion a device that could produce a loud noise at will, you could use it to secure an advantage in your battle. What it lacks in strength of arms, I make up for with guile. While it will not guarantee us victory, it will surely bring us one step closer. Guys, it's time to get a vuvuzela. 1,000 pardons, Master Reek, but I'm come to deliver a message from your Lord Father. Dad? What does he want with me now? I'm not saying that word out loud. Come to your father's attention that you've acquitted yourself rather poorly as a bounty hunter and have brought terrible shame upon your family name. He commands you to cease all activities at once and return to the city forthwith. Should you fail to do so, you will be stripped of your citizenship and family name. No further financial assistance will be provided. Oh. May tell my father and my mother the following. I am Lee Reek, proud bounty hunter, slayer of sin eaters, but I have no intention of renouncing this cause, and that they are free to do as they deem fit. Tell them that if they have no son, then I have no parents, that I have no family save Miss Elvira, who's shown me more love than they ever have. Very good, Master Reek. I shall deliver your reply to them at once. Tell them to eat shit, dude! Tell them to give their money to those deserving of it, not keep it all for themselves. Now that's settled, we can get to work crafting that giant noisemaker of ours. Let us consult with the craftsman of the crystalline mean at once. He is so dumb and great, I love him. I dare say you lit a fire in him. I never thought I'd see the day when he muster the courage to say anything like that to his parents. He's a good lad. He's a good lad at heart. I'm laughing at the fact that they're like, oh, you're such a brave warrior. Meanwhile, Maeve, like, trips over their own shoelaces. Earlier today, I banged my head while getting out of a car, so, like, just so you understand, when I say that Maeve is a self-insert, I mean that Maeve is the selfiest of inserts, in the sense that we're both big dumb idiots. Everyone's like, Maeve, the great warrior of light, and Maeve's like, what? I just wanted to go read. You got something what needs making? Sorry for the cough there. Indeed I do, good sir. Wish to commission the production of a device that can generate a tremendously loud sound. Must be small and light enough to be carried by a single individual as well. Ain't that one of the strange requests I've heard? Well, if it's noise just noise you want, I wager we could make do with a special blend of fire sound. Think I've just got the recipe for your needs. I'll need some choice ingredients, mind, and you'll need to go fetch them for me. Fetch... What precisely is it that you require? One particular beast native to Calicio has got a singular diet and leaves massive dung piles. Fresher the better, if you please. A few varieties of grasses native to Arctica. Oh, and some iron ore from Amrang. I can give you a list if you'd like. To wit, I will need to travel to the far corners of Northrant and back. Oh dear, this is rather more involved than I... No more excuses. Do whatever it needs to be done to see this through to the end. My friend, I will not impose these tasks upon you. I insist that you remain here while I go and fetch the required materials. Okay. Head over to the pendants. Maeve is the giant nerd of light. They really are. Where am I going? I'm going to the pendants. Here we go. In Shitpost land, their Senator form would be forgiven dumbassery. Forgiven dweebiness. Alright boys, let's have some drinks. And bill it back to the Riksdad. It was a series of surprisingly harrowing experiences, but in the end I managed to obtain the materials necessary for the construction of my secret weapon. Just by a Vuvuzela dude. Gentleman was rather accommodating, despite being somewhat put out that I had not any guilt of paying for his labour. He was nevertheless willing to teach me how to craft the arrows myself. He said he found my industriousness endearing. I must confess, despite utterly exhausted by all this busy work, it's been somewhat refreshing. Now that the noisemaker arrows are ready, I cannot wait to put them to proof. If all goes to plan, the explosion should be loud enough to incapacitate Andrea for a time. Let us put an end to her tale, my friend, and in doing so write the opening of ours, that of Reek and Maeve, bounty hunters extraordinaire. Come, Ractica and glory awaits. Meanwhile, in the back of my head, I'm just like, man, I've spent a lot of money on, teleportation at the moment. Even though I can definitely afford it. I'm a cheapskate. Well, I have to say, I had a really dumb thought the other day, which is that I have a lot of gil in this game that I'm probably not going to use, except for maybe for like the occasional clothing and housing item. But I don't have a lot of IRL gil. This isn't a shill for donations, by the way. This is my dumb thoughts. And I was staring at my gil count, like, man, imagine if I could sell that for real money, like reverse gil spamming. And then I was like, no, that's just... All you're doing there is becoming the supplier rather than consumer of the illegal gil farming. So, that's a stupid thing I thought. What if I could, like, you know, hand in my gil for money? It would wind up being like 10 quid. But maybe what comes more request before we begin. Please, for the love of God, try not to succumb to any visions of people's pasts. This really could not be a worse time. Lucky? It's a bad time. You still with me in the here and now? Excellent, that we can attend to the task at hand without worry. Let us lay to rest our fellow hunters and grant Brenderay the peace a hero deserves. Time not to die, lad. I have done a lot of maps, not as much as us to be, but a fair chunk of maps. And I also am not a crafter gatherer, so I tend to just accumulate gil and very rarely spend it. I spent most of mine on housing items. Right, gonna take down you first. Sorry you're dead, but you don't have to be such a bloody arse about it. Ah, beans. Honestly, I just, when Osterby says, let's do maps, I just join Oster. I'm sometimes also just thinking about it, they will be, I forgot how to speak, because I'm an idiot. They'll be in like Party Finder and stuff like that, so I think a lot of it is just like keeping your eye out for things like that, and ah, beans. I may have made a mistake. Yeah, I don't usually wind up joining the ones in Party Finder. What usually happens is that Osterby sends me a bunch of maps and then it's like, we started doing them on Fridays. So just blame Osterby, basically. But the reason I don't tend to join map Party Finders is genuinely because of time zones. But if you live in a real time zone... Why did I do that? There we go, that's what I wanted to do. Draw off Andrea. You handle the knight. Ah, fuck shit balls. Thank you, Oster. I might join that actually, although I am scared of people. So, I don't understand Apex Arrow. And at this point... Listen, you know, it could always be worse. I'm in the worst time zone of GMT. Nobody's ever awake. Well, you know, people are at work when I'm playing video games. But I think there's, I feel like there's probably, I mean, Osterby gets in them a lot, and he has the world's oddest sleep schedule, so like... Ah, beans. Thank you for the link though, Oster. It is appreciated. Also, if anybody ever tries to tell you that you can't 4-man the level 80 maps, they're wrong and pulling stuff out of their arse. Because I have been in groups that have done them and I've seen it done. This is true. I know 4-manning is pretty doable, so... Okay, so I have a question about this level 80 ability. Is this a thing of you can use it before it hits max, but you want to wait until it hits max because it like does more damage if it hits max? There we go, I'll just wait until it yells at me then. That's what I like to hear. So it's like this, you can use it beforehand, but you want to wait until it hits, there we go. Thank you for your heals, my friend. Honestly, I feel like I've forgotten how to play Bard because I've been playing Dragoon the last few days. How come she gets to limit break multiple times a fight? That's not fair. Phew. I don't like that she can limit break multiple times a fight. That is very fairy. Honestly, I didn't level up Astro or Dark Knight until after Stormblood came out. Even seeing it and saying it, it hardly feels real. Huh? What's that you've got there? It's time to be sad, lads. Wicked White, you're... Hey, those are my trousers. You're Renderay. The real Renderay. Should never have betrayed your trust. Never again, I swore. Never again. Balam Keats, the Shadow Keeper, the Flood. Come what may, we would face it together, no matter how hard it got or how terrified I was. That's what it means to let someone into your heart, knowing full well that nothing lasts forever. To welcome the fear and the pain, the sorrow. When I lost my parents, when we laid the Keeper low, you felt it too, didn't you? Trust me, it really is. To place our faith in a desperate, hopeless attempt to save everyone, and to see it mount to naught in the end. What else could we do but offer up that tiny remainder in a final, futile effort, even knowing deep down it was worth but a few moments more? What is this? It gave me fear, and that fear gave me strength. Wait, there's so much I want to ask. I'm keeping the tears in just about, but boy howdy does the story of the Warriors of Light make me so sad. I don't understand. What was she talking about? It's not right. It's not fair. Heroes sacrificing themselves for nothing, becoming villains, being forgotten. Thank you, Knave. I could never have gotten this far without your help. I had no idea who Rendaway or any of the other Warriors of Light are, truly were. It was all ancient history to me. Why would I care who some Eaters once were? I was no better than my parents, judging them out of hand, dismissing their sacrifice, not bothering to look deeper. It made it all the easier to pursue Andrea for my own amusement. I pray I've made up for it in part by helping to lay Rendaray's soul to rest. Miss Avara's probably worried sick about us both. We should return to Calusia and let her know we're alright. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Seeing May's face is weird. I have to say, so far, for me, I think it goes healer, caster, physical DPS, tank. Not because I think the tank quest was bad. Just, it didn't appeal to me personally. Also, because the quest giver for the tank quests was like a Hume version of, or a Hero version of Maeve, and to the point where like they actually had very similar hair and they're both Dark Knights, and Tall and Twinkie, and it was slightly unnerving. But I think these were all great. I feel like I've got like a close connection to the caster one because it was the one that I was doing when I was completing the story for the first time, so that's like my role quest. And then, exactly right, like this world is, these worlds aren't big enough for 2 blue-haired emos Dark Knights. Boo boo boo. Yeah, I think the healer role quest was my favourite. Like, very, very fair. Exactly. Like, the thing is, I suppose he's edgy for a reason, but at the same time, I'm also like, gestures between Grayson and Maeve, like, I see no difference. My little Reek, Maeve, congratulations on it. My little Reek, Maeve, congratulations on a job well done. From one hunter to another, thank you for helping Renderay achieve the measure of peace. She was a hero to me too, and it broke my heart to know what had become of her. To have your legacy tarnished though, to have the world call you villain even still, but at least I can take comfort in knowing she can finally enjoy a long rest. Whatever others may say, we will preserve the truth in story and song. Renderay, the bravest hunter there ever was, and more importantly, a true friend to those she held dear. Can only hope to measure up to her example someday. For now, however, I say we return to the Crystarium and raise a glass in celebration. He does. I really do like how so many of these stories are the power of friendship. Somebody I follow on Twitter had played the game over the weekend, like the main crux of the game over the weekend, and was talking about it, and we were chatting, and we both agreed like one of our favourite things about Shadowbringers is, despite in appearances being so edgy, when you actually play it, it's actually, in the end, I think it has a very positive message. And I just, every so often, I think about Ardbert saying, don't make a choice that leaves you by yourself. And that, for me, I think is the ultimate takeaway of, you know, Shadowbringers as a whole, is friendship is good. You can't be... Oh, I do as well. I think about Ardbert and I just get sad, but that, like, happy sad, where I'm like, you know, at least he found peace in the end. Oh no, I was thinking about that scene where he's walking back to his friends, and now I'm sad too. I'm so excited to do this for a second time on a different character and get sad all over again. Andrea's bounty has been paid to us in full, my friend. So come, let us eat, drink, and be merry. Me thinking about Ardbert. Me thinking about Lamet. I've been meaning to ask Maeve, but I have the impression you are rather more acquainted with these warriors of light than you've been letting on. What exactly do you know about them? A whole ass lot. One of them is my ghostly friend. I like this because, oh, for sure and certain, like, I do think Healer is the best in my opinion. But I have to say, I do like this cutscene because you can almost take it as, like, you've done the other quests, you've met the other Warriors of Light, and now offering up their lives to cross the rift, then to halt the flood. Wicked white. It must have taken us so much courage to see it through in those final moments. Courage born not of the desire for glory or dedication to an ideal, but of fear and love for those with whom she had forged unshakable bonds, her comrades. I won't pretend that with anything approaching such a powerful connection, but I'd like to think that if you were in mortal peril, that I would fly to your side without hesitation. Having said that, if I were tested as Renderay were, if I were challenged to offer up my life for others without even knowing if it would amount to aught, I doubt I could rise to the occasion. I'm a child and a fool who knows little of the world, being coddled and spoiled, and I've only just tasted the bitter fruits of life that you and countless others sup on daily. You are made of sterner stuff, Maeve, far sterner than me, and that is why I know I can never walk your path. Do you wish you could? How could I not? I cannot recall a time I felt happier and more alive than when I've travelled with you. But you've countless other journeys ahead of you, don't you? But you're destined for greater challenges, whereas I'm suited to rather more pedestrian affairs. Know your limits, as Miss Solara used to say. Meeting her again after all these years, seeing how much older and more frail she became, made me realise how little time together we have left. Hiccups. She shouldn't have to live out her days living alone and in squalor. I decided it will not be so. I shall return to Clusia and attend to her needs, for I do my utmost to repay the love and kindness that made me the man I am today. Good lad. Oh. It's like, you have great journeys ahead of you, and Ostercat's like, God, I hope not. Pains me to say, I fear the celebration was also mark the end, or at least a very tenuous suspension, of a glorious partnership that was Reek and Maeve, bounty hunters extraordinaire. Should you ever find yourself in Clusia, however, do come by and pay us a visit. Oh, that was a good quest line. I did like that one. Right. It's capstone time, baby. There we go. Time for feels, I presume. Okay, whilst I can down the sail without my helm on. Oh, I'm already sad just from this. I know the major spoiler but nothing else, so the rest of it will be a surprise to me. Well, if it isn't the great hunter himself. Themselves. As if you don't know, all four of the cardinal virtues laid low, all with your help. You're the talk of the stairs, Maeve. When the night we returned to Lakeland, we knew in our hearts that change was on the horizon, but never did I dare hope that you might help rid us of those terrible fiends. You surpassed my wildest expectations, and also Mochi's ability to speak. Nay, Mr. Wilkes. Not mine, Leonard. When we first laid eyes on them, I had an inkling that they were the hero we'd been waiting to come along. Easy to claim after the fact. If you'd indulge me, though, I'd love to hear you tell how it all played out. The hunting of the virtues, that is. So I got very sad, and then I cried a lot, and then I died a couple of times, and then I was sad. So much more to it than I realised, and then I thought you'd only had to track down the bloody things. God, so the things you learned about the Warriors of Light. So many secrets and details lost over time. And for all the hard work and sacrifice, they somehow brought about the flood. Can't say I understand it at all, but it's a bloody tragedy it is. We should gather the others and toast their memories. Heroes of Eld, brave and true, to be remembered forevermore. Now, I'll thank you not to let your bleeding heart drive you to offer up a fortnight's stock of spirits. Turn to your other customers and let me speak with the hero of here and now. It is a good Jessie of the situation, I see. Very well, I'll leave it to you to entertain them, but don't think we won't be having that drink someday. Maeve, I must thank you for sharing with us such incredible tales. It is only right that I repay you in kind. With the ending, that is. With the story of the true villain who towers above the virtues, the devil more deserving of death than any that yet lingers in this world. If your curiosity has been piqued, then meet with me atop the balcony overlooking the crystalline mean. I will be waiting there until you do. Crunkle's eyebrows in confusion and concern. I'm actually going to swap back to Summoner to do this one. We can get, you know, if I take screenshots so that they're with the mock head. Also, because, you know, Summoner main. This is where we started this story, and it's where we'll end it. With fishnets and stompy boots. Okay, buddy. As I knew you would. Never met a mystery you couldn't leave well enough alone, or a demon that you could let live, am I right? This demon is undeniably deserving of death. Make no mistake. To cut them down would be just and proper. The act of a goodly person, and that is just what you are, I can see that. No need to grow impatient or be offended, my friend. But before you pass judgment on this villain, you need first to understand their part in everything, who they were to the fallen warriors of light, for instance. Of course, right about now you must be wondering how I know what I know, but a tavern wench of all people has got to do with any of this. Let me tell you then, I am the one who brought together the Virtue Hunters. I am the one who marked you as a potential ally to them, and bade you join them in their quests. I alone knew what had to be done, and what sort of sinner would be needed to see this trail of tragedy and betrayal brought to an end. But come, we have many miles ahead of us still. To Calusia and the Codger's Crook, I'll go on ahead and wait for you there. I've just noticed the name similarity, and I'm already suspicious based on that alone. Maybe suspicious isn't the right phrase, but I have no knowledge except for, like, I know the big spoiler through nobody's fault but my own. You know, when Asta says, big spoilers inside, and I click on it anyway, and I'm like, oh, that sure was a big spoiler. So, me clicks it anyway. Listen, you know me, I'm a chaotic dumbass. I don't know what I was thinking. I can't justify myself. I'm just stupid. That's all it is. But I didn't read anything else, so I have no other context. Exactly, right? You're accustomed to life on the road, I see. As am I. Do you recognise this place? I thought you might. Oh, pardon me. Here is where it began, where Ardbert first met Lamet. Still young and lacking in experience, but possessed of so much potential. Here is in the making. Even then, the keen-eyed could see. They would only fulfill that promise much later, though, after joining with their other dear companions, Brandon and Renda Ray. And one other, an elven woman, not half bad with a sword. Indeed, after adding in Nilebert, there does seem to be one too many, but believe me when I say there was indeed a sixth adventurer lost to history, and her name was Silver. Though I doubt I need to convince you of this truth. When you walked in the Virtue's memories, you saw her time and time again, did you not? Then you saw the true villain, the traitor responsible for all their woes. Let us continue the story elsewhere, to Armorang and the Fields of Amber. I should say, by the way, for anybody watching this who hasn't yet worked it out, major spoilers for the capstone quests. As in me playing the whole thing live on stream right now. So I got rid of my I clicked the wrong thing there. I got rid of my my spoiler warning. My MSQ spoilers. Well, I didn't get rid of it. I've just taken it off of. Jesus Christ, is that puggy? It's really called Stormy Daniels, eh? I took that off my little shortcut thingies, and I don't have it as a source anymore. You saw the true villain's face in the memories, and I told you her name and Calusia. But what were her crimes, you ask? Hearken to my tale, and you will learn. Heartburn and hiccups. Silver had joined the others before they first met Nilebert. After their party of 5 came to this place, they took on a commission to slay a powerful beast that had taken up residence in the mines. Said beast was believed to be the instigator of ever more terrible tremors, and so time was of the essence. But during the hurried search, they crossed paths with their future companion, then a competitor aiming to usurp their prize. After another tremor triggered by the beast, trapped them all underground, they had no choice but to work together to lay it low. But to their dismay, even after its death, the earth continued to shudder violently. As the adventurers looked to each other in confusion, Niallbert strode towards the beast body and grabbed hold of the curious stone, a stone brimming with untold ether that he had sought out that he might harness its potential to rescue a loved one lost to the rift. But so powerful was the stone that it warped the flow of the life stream. Its very existence was a threat, and so, when faced with a choice between one life and countless others, Niallbert wept and sat at the stone. He had held his comrade's salvation in his hands and cast it aside for the greater good. For his sacrifice, he was judged a hero, and in that instant, a warrior of light was born. In life, Niallbert was a pragmatic figure, whose wisdom and sagacity were admired by all. Little wonder that in death he would retain that virtue. But as Niallbert mourned the friend he had forever lost, the betrayer Silver looked on in silent contentment, for they had taken the first step on their path towards becoming heroes brave and true. His sacrifice sparked the transformation, which was fuel for the ritual to come. What ritual, you may wonder? Fear not, all will become clear in time. Come with me to Raktica, to the Setia swamps. We must retrace the steps as they were taken to understand the depths of her treachery. So I guess Niallbert must have joined up last. Clearly I'm wrong. So my current suspicion is Ascians, because I always suspect Ascians. Also, did you know that I still have my really bad habit of doing the, like, looking camera like I'm in the office type thing, but instead of actually looking at the camera in front of me, I look over to my second screen, which is where I have OBS and chat open and stuff. So I'm so used to being like, everything's on the second screen that I forget that's not also where my camera is, so then I do like look at camera like I'm in the office. Well, solidly. Exactly. I'm like, turn face to look at people. Oh wait, people aren't. Anyway, that's the story of how I'm an idiot, and if you ever see me abruptly look over like this while delivering a witty one-liner like, I suspect Ascians, you know why. Obviously, I suspect Ascians is the most witty of one-liners. I just always suspect them. I just always assume they're there fucking stuff up in the background. This place too is familiar to you now, from days recent and long since past. After the events in Almarang, Ardbert and his comrades grew in fame, spurring others to entreat their aid. The adventurers sought out greater and greater challenges, and in pursuit of another they came to Raktica. While here, the hunter Renteray learned that the notorious Mark Balam Keats was near, and so, under cover of darkness, she slipped away from the others to slay the beast by herself. Like Niallbert before, of course, you already know what her motive was. Balam Keats had robbed her of her fellow hunters. Only vengeance would redress the balance. Moreover, she would not dare risk the lives of her new comrades, so terrified was she of the mere possibility that she might have to relive that terrible day. And so she faced Balam Keats alone, and would surely have died for it, had Ardbert and the others not arrived in time to help. Like Niallbert before, of course, you already know what happened next. For her love, her conviction, and her resolve was she chosen by Hydaelyn. And from that day forward, Renteray swore never again to betray her comrades' trust, to share with them the triumphs and the tragedies, to relinquish the freedom she had once held in the highest. The bravest, most courageous hunter that ever was, that moment would define what she became in life and in death. Her sacrifice would hasten the transformation, to as fuel for the ritual to come. The betrayer Silver looked on, yet more satisfied. They were oblivious to her machinations, unaware that they were dancing to a tune. The journeys continued, and so must ours, to Ilmeg and Nahigia. So I'm guessing it's Ardbert, Lamet, Brandon, Renderay, Niallbert, and then I personally, I'm guessing Silver is after Lamet but before Brandon. Noodlebert, yeah. And so, like, they collect them all, and then Niallbert is the chronologically earliest of the, like, session plays that you do. So it's not like important per se. It's just I like being able to organize these things in my head. I've got a list in. Actually, it's in my work notebook because I was looking up over lunch. So the only piece of paper I had to hand was my work notebook, of like exactly. I have a list just purely because I wanted to work it out of the trying to work out the astral errors and astral calamities, rather. Sorry, the umbral errors, the calamities, and which planets they refer to, so we knew which planets, worlds, whatever you want to call it, still existed. Gosh, Lahigia at night is so pretty. I love this castle so much. I really want, I want housing items inspired by this. Like, I want windows that you could put in your flat that are stained windows like this. If you guys ever want to see great stained windows, by the way, look up your cathedral. It's a fuka! You know, I had to get punched. I'm doing the hand thing, but you can't see it because it's only up here. You know, I had to get punched by a fuka. Exactly, you mother fuka, etc. Ooh, okay. I will have to keep an eye out for which ones those are and see if I can pop them into my basement flat. Also, just as a complete aside before we actually move on with the story, water float, that's what I want. Floating here at night is so pretty. Like, I hate water lilies with all my heart and soul, but it's so pretty, even though our ooh. Ooh, thank you, Oster. I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna just go ahead and copy that into my reminder to myself thingies on Discord. Go ahead and buy those, because those are very pretty and I like. I love anything stained glass in general. That's an aside. Okay, Oster, will do. Thank you, it's appreciated. As beautiful now as it was then. You saw it too, would you not agree? With the death of the Baron Keats, the legend of Ardbert and his comrades had grown larger than ever. Thus emboldened, they came to the kingdom of Verbert. Verbert had long been troubled by what some had dubbed a magical plague. Its innocence found transformed into misshapen fiends that the kingdom's knights had no choice but to put down ere the contagion spread. They said, speaking into the hand as they itched their eyes. Branton had been one such knight. In his youth he had served the Princess Saldia faithfully, only to be cast out for a single mistake. Thus did he take to the road, where he met Ardbert and the others. Halloween glitter! Having grown stronger and wiser and more respected, Branton felt that it was time to return and redeem himself. With the aid of his comrades, he did just that. Tadric, the court mage, was unmasked as the mastermind of Werbert's misery, and disgraced knight's blade was he brought to justice. But with his dying breath, Tadric cursed the Princess Saldia, sentencing her to a fate worse than death. At his behest did he raise up his blade, and so for the sake of the kingdom strike down this liege lady. With a single stroke he did a thing that I accidentally clicked through like an idiot. Thus did he find and embrace true justice, that which weighs law and heart together and strive for this greater good. 'Tis a long, difficult road from which many stray, settling for simpler moralities, but I would expect no less of the man who became Dick Iosne. Her sacrifice would strengthen the transformation. His sacrifice, rather, I should say. 'Twas fuel for the ritual to come. As the companions grew ever more powerful, so too did the betrayer Silver. Bit by bit, they brought her closer to her goal. But it was not yet finished. To Calusia they returned, and so must we. Tomra and the next chapter of our tale await. That's fair. I think my problem was that I found Brandon's side, it almost got to the point of being too stereotypically high fantasy for me, in a really weird way that I can't easily explain. By the way, I have to say, I really love the name of this quest, Shadow Walk With Me. I've never seen the... Exactly. Well, to be honest, it was similar with Granson as well. In both cases, like, the similarities between them are cool, but at the same time, it's like, yep, that sure is some fridging I've just seen there. And I think that's, for me, why Tank is ranked at the bottom. I don't necessarily think it's bad. I just think that the others... To be honest, I think what it is I think the healer quest was so good, in my opinion, that the others almost paled in comparison to it. And I didn't... The Tank, I think, you know, the tropes in the story of the Tank quest aren't for me. Exactly, and like, I did cast a healer, and so I have, like, a lot of, like, attachment to the caster storyline, because for me that was, like, my Shadowbringer's role storyline that I did as we were going along, and so it had that, like, my head's really bugging me, sorry. I had that attachment to it in a way. But honestly, I feel like I kept saying this. For me, I think it is healer all the way at the top, caster pretty near up the top, then, like, physical DPS and tank nearer the bottom, but, you know, solidly in the, like, 5 and above. Like, on a scale from 0 to 10, it goes healer at 10, I would say caster at about 8, physical DPS at maybe 6, and tank at 5. Definitely on the good scale of things, it's just that the bar has been raised so high by healer being so good. I know, we have so many good friends. So many good friends. Exactly, that's the thing. And I'm sure there are plenty of people out there for whom the Tank quest is, like, their favourite because it speaks to them in a much deeper way, but neither Ransom nor Brandon's, like, neither of those guys, neither of their stories really appealed to me. I think what I liked about Render Ray's story is that it wasn't necessarily like, woo, vengeance, woo. It, I mean, because Granson's was, yay, vengeance, and then learning that, like, sometimes you don't know the full story and you need to consider people by, like, the whole of them and not this one bit of them that you know. I think what I liked about Render Ray's was that the summary of her story wasn't woo vengeance, it was don't go out and do dumb things by yourself. If you have friends, it's not worth it to sacrifice yourself to save them when you could be asking them for help. And I think it's also, you know, it's a case of personal taste. There might be people out there who really don't like the healer role quest, and I mean, they're wrong, but they're still, that opinion's still valid. It's just that I happen to think that the healer role quest is the best, you know? But as always, your mileage may vary. Slowly but surely, the adventurers were fulfilling their potential. Words of their deeds and verba spread like wildfire, and the legend grew ever larger. But for all their successes, the fledgling heroes would be forced to endure more hardship and welcome more sacrifice. Exactly, that's the thing, Oster. They pressed deeper into the dwarves' depths of Raktica, towards ancient Ronka. It was there that the dwarf Lamet came to a crossroads, for in claiming the magic she desperately desired, she would be forced to renounce something equally precious. Dwarves are a reclusive lot, want to withdraw from the outside world, that their many traditions might be preserved in isolation. When the stone blight began to spread, they chose to lock away the afflicted and refused to seek outside help. But Lamet would not abide this. She vowed to save her ailing kin, her sister among them, even if it meant violating dwarven law. With her newfound power, she returned and cured the sick, and for this she was banished by the Council of Elders. This came as no surprise, for she had made her peace with it long before, when she stood in that ancient ruin and called upon forgotten guardians to grant her ancient knowledge, grant her forbidden knowledge, she knew then what the price would be. She'd weighed her traditions and identity against the lives of those she loved and made her choice, though it painted terribly, and in ways only a dwarf could understand, and Heidelin, it would seem. Through hardship and sacrifice was a new warrior of light forged, a healer that knew more than any the value of her life and would do anything to see it preserved, even in death. Her sacrifice would very nearly complete the transformation. 'Twas fuel for the ritual to come. Very soon, then, very soon. For Ardbert and his comrades had stumbled upon evidence of the larger design, threads linking together the disparate troubles of the realm. A name spoken only in whispers, a Shadowkeeper, a singular force sowing chaos and discord, ailem out, throughout Dordvan to an unknown end. If the Warriors of Light truly wished to save their world, then they would need to confront this villain amongst villains. And at the end of their exhaustive search, at the end of their struggle, who do you think they found waiting to welcome them with open arms? The answer to that awaits us in Lakeland, our final destination. The villain yet walks among us, Maeve, unknown and unpunished. Go on ahead and wait for me at Laxenloft. There are preparations to which I must first attend. I have a question, which may well be answered, so if it is, then I'll shut up and wait for it to be answered. We've heard about how all the others had their, like, breakpoint that transformed them from, like, a hero into the Warrior of Light, where Heidelin's like, okay, you get a blessing, and you get a blessing, and you get a blessing. When's Ardbert? When's his, like... When's his sacrifice? Okay. Ring Ardbert up on the think part. Like, hey, I've got more questions, buddy. Can you tell me? Because, like, obviously his major sacrifice is, like... Man, maybe that's what's really heartbreaking, is that Ardbert was never actually a Warrior of Light. He was just a really good boy, and he didn't really get that blessing. I'm sure that's not true. I'm sure he did get the blessing of light eventually. I just want to know when. Like, what was his breaking point before pre-Flood of Light? What happened here? How appropriate that the enemies around here are called Elven Knights. Yeah, I wonder if... I wonder / hope if that's something we'll get the answers to, like, later down the line, maybe. Maybe in, like, a side quest chain or something. I don't know. I hope so. This is especially poignant in the Night in Rain. Night in the Rain. Buckin, please. It's a really cool sword. That's the Deep Shadow swords. I think. Damn you, Silver. We were comrades in arms. Friends. That we were and that we are. Everything I said, everything I felt. It was all true. You mean the world to me. You're the bloody Shadowkeeper. What in the hells was this for? For you. For every one of you. To forge you into heroes worthy of her blessing, that she might choose you as her champions. A ruthless mage consumed by the pursuit of power to save his friend no matter the cost. By his sacrifice, a warrior born. A mournful hunter scarred by tragedy resolved never again to trust in others. By her sacrifice, a warrior born. A A disgraced knight who yearned to steal his heart in justice' name. By his sacrifice, a warrior born. A troubled healer torn between tradition and love. By her sacrifice, a warrior born. And their leader, an adventurer with the heart overflowing with love for its dearest comrades, who must now bring his axe to get bare against his own. I'm guessing possibly this is his breakpoint, actually. By his sacrifice, a warrior born. I am the villain you seek, the keeper of shadows from a world shrouded in dark. By our struggle will this world be shattered and its soul saved. Asians! Silver! Fuck! I just had a thought. I'm going to keep it in my head and I'm going to explain this thought afterwards, after this cutscene. I think that's his breakpoint when he gets his crystal. Is this when that happened? Saw all, did you? Thought you might. Mother's gift has a knack for showing us exactly what we need to see, if not when we want to, or when. Gone! They knew me as Silver, but my real name is... it doesn't matter. Like you, I'm not of this world. I crossed the rift and came to the first. From the 13th... Yep. Felt it dark in a calamity that mirrored the one which nearly claimed this world. I was one of several heroes who failed to save it. The boy, Unukalhai, I glimpsed him in your memories. He was a friend. Like him, I heeded the words of the Asians, that I might redress the balance. I chose to come here and hasten the rejoining of worlds. A shard subsumed by dark demands an equal mirror of blinding light. Primordial forces will strive to achieve equilibrium. But there was a solution. A single solution, I believed. Were a flood of light to consume the shard in its entirety, it would be of no use. The Asians made it clear it must be brought to the brink, but no further. The task was difficult, but the plan simple. Souls predisposed to light, fledgling heroes in the making. I'd bring together Ardbert and his comrades and groom them for a higher purpose. Play the part of a comrade and guide their course, all the while labouring in secret to pit stronger and stronger enemies against them, till finally, once they were warriors of light, brave and true, I'd reveal myself as a warrior of darkness and extinguish their radiance forever. Thus would this world be primed for a rejoining, and the source for a calamity. The Asians who called themselves Mitron and Logrif were confident it would succeed, and indeed, Ardbert and the others rose to the occasion, as I knew they would. Logrif. FF14. Sorry. It was not to be. Misjudged Ardbert. His comrades before him had made their sacrifices in turn, and as their mirror had grown stronger for it. Had he but embraced his role and struck me down, victory would have been mine. But Ardbert, dear Ardbert, would not forsake his heart. In the end, he chose mercy, he chose love, and I was undone. The rest you know. He sought out Mitron and Logrif and granted them what he refused me. They accomplished everything he set out to achieve, and then the flood came and washed it away. In the wake of my betrayal, I would look on from the shadows and reflect on my many, many sins as all fell to ruin. Denied death then and now, and perhaps ever after, as a fragment of my essence endures. Sounds familiar! Then, one day, years ago, my fallen comrades rose again as the cardinal virtues. Coincided with the arrival of the first Scions, I later realised. A defence against the forces being marshalled to undo my failure. I can but assume the Asians planted the idea into Valtry's head. They were his creations after all, and with the graves in your more territory, it was doubtless a simple matter to have their bodies exhumed and prepared. Who am I to speak, you may think when I say this, but when I saw these abominations he'd wrought in their image, I was filled with such despair, such anger. I cannot unwrite the past. My soul is stained with the blackest sin, and I will not pretend it can ever be otherwise. But this act, I could not ignore. The Asians were going to such lengths, then surely others will cross the rift in due time, and so I hatched a plan. I'd assume the guise of Cielia, and I said take up residence in the Crystarium, where I would take measures to bring together the most ambitious of adventurers, individuals driven by more than mere coin, virtue hunters. That way, when the enemy the Asians feared more than any came to the first, the stage would be set. They would join in the hunter's quest, and together I'd make Valkyrie simulacra and lay their souls to rest once more. That is a good... I agree with you on that one, Oster. And so you did, Maeve. The virtues are no more, but the one ultimately responsible for their creation, the devil who set them on their doomed path, lingers still. You know all there is to know of the heroes who saved the world. The truth I kept hidden in the shadows is yours, and there are no more secrets to share, and so I ask you now to grant me that which Ardbert could not. Death. I sort of feel like Ardbert maybe doesn't have, like, he doesn't have that, like, dramatic backstory. He's just a guy who wants to help people. He's just a really nice guy. You still have a duty to others. You know, he's not doing this out of vengeance or wanting something. Don't do this. Don't you spare me like you did. How can you stand there and say I deserve to live, knowing everything I did, the lives I destroyed, the chaos I wrought? The warden's pale in comparison. Surely there is no greater villain than the Shadowkeeper. Which is why you must live to atone for your deeds. I should have expected a hero would say something like that. How does one even seek atonement? 'Tis an undiscovered country with no charts or stars to guide. How will I even know when I find it? Dramatic palm shot. Perhaps I may yet find purpose in preserving my comrade's legacy, and helping others to understand the sacrifices that made them true heroes. For now, I shall return to the Crystarium and continue to assist Glenard while spreading the forgotten tales of the Warriors of Light. You would have been good friends, you and Ardbert, in another life. Maybe you and I as well. She's solidly our soul shard. I can't believe we're haunted by the ghosts of ourselves. Before we go finish this story off, I just want to, like, get the... So... Ooh, we'll go chat to him afterwards. So the 13th is destroyed. Unul Kahai, whose name I can never pronounce, is ostensibly a warrior of light, but he can't actually do anything because he's a small boy and therefore kind of useless. And then he, like, comes to the source and, like, Warring Triad happens. And then at the same time, the Asians talk to Cielia, Silva, C-name, Syl, let's call her. They go talk to Windowsill, and they convince her to destroy... I wonder how what she thought destroying the first would do. Like, did she think that it would... Oh, it solidly does. Did she think that it would bring back the 13th somehow, maybe? Maybe she explained it and I completely blanked on it, but... Exactly, so it's fucking Asians all the way down. It's these shitty and pissing Asians. God, I just want to strangle them all. Throw them all off a wall. Okay, yeah. So they said, if you go and destroy the first, then that will redress the balance and will, yeah, to fix the 13th. But you have to, like, bring it to the brink and no more, because if you bring it all the way, it will just fall to pieces and will be completely useless, and all that ether will just fuck off and not do anything. So then Ardbert come to us to be the Warriors of Darkness, to try and destroy our world with darkness, because they think that will address the issue of light. And then we appear and we're like, hey, everything needs to be in balance. Everything changed when the Asians attacked, etc. They're just, I don't... Whatever their motivations, blah 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 blah, I'm not getting into that debate. They're just vile little people. Just really horrible. A bit more, should I put it, at ease. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you? I don't want to. I bet they taste really bad. I bet they taste like off, you know, like curdled milk. Tell you, I'm not at all accustomed to wearing armour any longer. Simply moving about in it is enough to tax my strength, and fighting? Ugh. Anyone of Captain Nina's recruits could probably put me flat on my back. Fortunately, I needn't rely on my sword to spread the truth of my fallen comrades' deeds. Only words and the passage of time will see their legacy redeemed in the eyes of the people. Thank you for accompanying me on my journey of remembrance, Maeve. May your deeds ever be remembered and celebrated, as all heroes deserve. Yeah. I'm sort of wondering about that, because what I'm trying to work out is like... So what I emphasis on the think, we're getting there slowly but surely, is what happens in terms of that is that there needs to be like, there needs to be a suffusion of ether on one world at the same time as a calamity on the source. So the flood of light here would need to be echoed, I think, by a calamity on the source, or else it just wouldn't do anything. But I don't know that. I don't know if it's like a fact that like there will, I don't know if it's almost almost like an entanglement thing where, yeah, that's what I think as well, because that's what I'm trying to work out. Like, is it almost like an entanglement thing where if there's a calamity, like a one-shot calamity on one of the planets, a calamity will happen on the source? Yeah, exactly. Is it like, so you need to bring the world, the first two, the brink of calamity, but not actually all the way calamity, and then engineer an issue on the source so that the two will combine, because otherwise all that happens is you just get like a tragic period. Almost like with Bahamut, where like I don't think Bahamut, even though it's just well, it is a calamity, so I wonder what world fell apart with Bahamut actually. Brain is like shorting out here. Yeah. I briefly forgot everything. So I do wonder, I'd really like to, this is perhaps an odd request for this game. I need to watch that cutscene again and write down the order in which they're destroyed. I'll record it and like do it frame by frame. So yeah, I guess that's what they do need to do is engineer them to go together. So it's not like if there's it's not like with Bahamut something would have happened to one of the other worlds regardless, or equally if there was a flood of light here, something would have happened on the source regardless. It does seem like they have to line up the two very carefully. Basically, what we're saying here is that Asians are vile little people who can eat my ass. I really like Farcaller as my title, but I am gonna change it to Living Memory just for a bit. Though I do really like Farcaller. Where do I pick up the Bard quest? That's what I would like to know. Here we go, quests. South Shroud, dope. Exactly, that's what I'm thinking, is it would have been like a natural disaster, but not a calamity. Well, it wouldn't have been a natural, it would have been a natural disaster, but say for example, well, they're all unnatural disasters, aren't they? But say, you know, when there was the flooding after 4th, 5th, whatever. Exactly, yeah. I wonder if that sort of ties in with the, I mean, we know the burn is because the people in the area pre-Garlics used up all the ether. But because I've just done this in 4.4, I wonder if that, like, those weird ether discrepancies were almost, whether they were something else. Yeah, it would have been a terrible thing, like, moon crashes. Also, there's a primal. Oh, and also the Garlean Empire have just, like, successfully destroyed Eos. Well, not Eos, but, you know, successfully destroyed a large chunk of the planet. Well, I'm just thinking about, like, the ether wells, ether holes. Why has? Sorry, I've just noticed that my my hotbar 1 is actually showing as hotbar 5 for some reason. How do I do that? Is it character config? What did I? How did I do that? I don't want to use the macros. I want system config. No, it is character config. Nope, it's keybind. That's the one. God only knows how I did that. Where the hell are you, guy, that I need to talk to? I've done all the things. I just did the quest that it needed. Courage, Brawn of Fear. I've done Shadowbringers and I've done Sweet Dreams Are Made of Peace, I think. Complete. Class and job quests. Disciple of what job quest? Yeah, I've done that, so... Where are you? Vibrates SE until the person I need to give me a quest comes out. Oh, it's over here. I'm an idiot. I'm in the wrong class. That's what it is. I'm a dummy. Ignore me. Can be real dumb sometimes. I do apologize for that. Ah, young one, full glad I might see you, hale and whole. The dreamers from the front lines had me quite worried. We commemorate this happy reunion with a verse, but there's someone who's worried for you even more than I. Speak, of course, of Comrade Sanson. It would do him well to see you again. If you can spare the time, perhaps we can pay him a visit in Gridania together. Sure thing, buddy. Oh, I've got really bad. I slept with my hair wet yesterday and You can't really see it because my room is quite dark, but the back of my head is like poking up. It looks very silly, ultimately, is the takeaway here. Oh, it's a babby! A babby bee! Tiny babby bee. Hey friends, how's it going? Maeve, praise the matron you're safe. Been beside myself with worry ever since I heard of your mysterious disappearance after Gimlet. I'm here and looking dorkier than ever. We fought the Empire too, my unit and I. Never had I experienced such a bloody battle. You've done well to return to us, all of you. We owe our survival in no small part to Guidolor. His song spurred all him that reached on the battlefield, turning the tide on countless occasions. For his valorous service, he was awarded a medal from the Alliance. Not that he was ever interested in such trinkets, of course. Lieutenant Guidolor was an inspiration to us all, but us, we may as well not have been present for all the good we did. May I introduce you to our recruits, Maeve? They are disappointed with their showing at Gimlet. To be sure, they did not shame themselves, far from it, but in moments when we were hard-pressed, their songs faltered and lost power. I see. As you know, our songs are given power through our fervent desire to aid our comrades. I do not think you lacked this desire. It was simply overwhelmed by the terror of being confronted with death. In his capacity as their senior, I had wanted Guidolor to train them, but no matter how many times I asked him, nay commanded, he refused to do so, saying that their songs do not have heart. Is that what he said? Sounds like Guidolor. Not to discourage you all, but there may be truth to Guidolor's words. Guidolor is probably how it's pronounced. Remember, if a song is to touch the heart, it must need have heart. Without it, not even an expertly performed anthem can hope to inspire. I believe it would behoove you to experience an exemplar of our songs, and most conveniently, we have an exemplar of our art here with us. Maeve, will you not play for them? Allow me to beseech you as well, my friend. Guidolor and I have spoken highly of your deeds to the recruits. It would be no exaggeration to say that they idolise you. Rest assured you won't perform alone. My heart shall join yours for a duet washed with heart. I am truly grateful, yet if I may be particular, we should have Guidolor participate as well. It is his duty to train them, after all. Besides, I believe he would relish the chance to perform with the two of you. Very well, a trio it is. Book no Pocky mentioned catching sight of Guidolor in the East Shroud. Let us see if we can find him there. It's definitely Guidolor rather than Guidolot. Because Guidolot sounds similar to Didalot, and that's what Dragoons do. I say as a Dragoon main on my second character. Can you guys tell that I love dragons, by the way? Summoner on my main, Dragoon on my alt. And then a Paladin on my third alt. On Throat. He really does. You haven't forgotten me, I hope. After all, I'm the one who discovered your talents, Cooper. Recruits, they're waiting in Gridania lest they scare Guidolor away with the prospect of having to teach them. It appears Guidolor was here but recently. That's right, Cooper. He went deeper into the woods saying that Sanson nags like a bloody fishwife. They're like... Guidolor respects you more than anyone, Maeve. Were you to call to him? I dare say he will answer. Lancers are like baby dragoons. Boring weevil, that's what they call me. Stand out here in Babyland. Just realised I accidentally oh. I'm so annoyed that Guidolor does not appear to be in the area. Perhaps you should venture deeper into the woods. What's the word I'm looking for? You have to, like, caps your responses. You have to use proper grammar, which annoys me because I don't like using capital letters. It goes against my brand. Well, well, wheel, look who it is. What brings you here, Maeve? Not some tiresome errand, I hope. An invitation to perform. I've been waiting forever for you to ask me that. So, what's the occasion? So Sanson and Jahan will put you up to it. Should have known. Recruits are as stiff as their captain, and I don't have any hopes for them. But, alright, I'll do it. Anything's worth a chance to perform with you, Maeve. God, what a fanboy. Gidlo, there you are. Take it Maeve has surprised you with the performance. Aye, and I expect no less than the finest venue for this distinguished gathering. You'll secure such a place for us, right, Chief? You may depend on it. I myself want the very best for the performance. Do any locations come to mind? The recruits have shown great interest in our expedition to find the Ballad of Oblivion. In light of this, I believe there's no place more fitting than the Sea of Clouds. The view alone would take their breath away. Sounds good to me. Let's get moving. Very well, I will go and secure an airship for us. Please, gather at the airship.
Come on in,
Group landing.
Come on in.
Hello, Bye5! Thank you very much for the raid. It is very, very much appreciated. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. I hope you had a good stream. Yeah, I can't type. There we go. Ooh, KOTOR. There's a game that I have never played but I've heard many things about. I hope you had a good stream. I hope you are having a good evening. Hello friends from Bye5 stream. It is me, Amochio. I can't speak. I can play a variety of games at the moment. I've just done the last of the role quests in Final Fantasy XIV, so I'm just clearing that out, doing my very last Bard quest before we move on, and as always, forgetting how to get to the airship landing here. I'm doing good. I'm chugging through. That's what matters. Are you enjoying it? I know next to nothing about it, so bugger me, but I'm starting to get excited. Ravel was so infused for a performance. Superiors raised their eyebrows when I mentioned another journey to the Sea of Clouds, but I managed to win them over with the prospect of another Song of Power. We have our airship. If everyone is ready, let us be away. The recruits have already boarded, keen as they are, and who wouldn't be keen for the coming performance? Performance anxiety time! Got candle wax on my desk. From my candle. Chuck it back in there, like. Yay! I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad that it was a good first run. That's always positive. I've had a couple of games recently where my first stream of it, I'm so like overwhelmed and confused by what's happening that I've struggled to actually get into the game. So, hearing that it was good is positive. What are we going to play to this as your background? Well, seeing as we have a vaunted hero with us, I had a mind to draw inspiration from their adventures for a new piece. It's a great idea, old man. Nave's stories would make for a bloody fine song. God, I wish I'd screenshotted that moment. Our recruits have yet limited experience lifting up their comrades in battle, a song that conveys the importance of camaraderie, that sows the seeds of desire to inspire. Such would be ideal, I believe. Shadowbringers feelings! A forgotten hero who avenged her comrades. An intrepid soul who faced a mighty foe, staunch comrades in tow. Aye, this is a rousing tale, worthy of being immortalised in song. Why, already the themes and emotions weave themselves into melody and verse in my mind. Come, my friends, let us lift our voices together in heartfelt harmony. A huntress brave, for vengeance you did cry, for comrades slain in a hunt gone awry. In your breast a raging storm impossible to quell, save by consigning the beast to the depths of hell. A huntress brave, your quarry you did chase, though it meant forsaking your new-found place. By your own hands you wished the deed fulfilled, that the storm within might finally be stilled. A huntress brave, a decision you did make, your hopes and dreams on friendship you would stake. Laying bare your heart, you set yourself free, to give your all to others, that the world may ever be. And the Shadowbringers theme too. Well, the Crystarium theme. By the gods. So this is what it means to perform with all your heart. That was moving beyond words. I felt the lesson of the song with my whole being. The lesson that our understanding for one another is what opens the way forward. Understanding. To think on it, I may have been too insistent on trying to press our recruits onto Giedler. I didn't try to understand his feelings. Giedler, this is an order, but a humble request. I ask not that you train our recruits, but that you simply get to know them. Through this, you come to understand each other's hearts, and forge a bond that will lend power to your songs. We should like that very much. Your song touched us to the very core, and we'd like nothing more than to be able to likewise touch others. Okay. Alright then, we can get acquainted when I'm in the mood. Now that you know what a real song feels like, I reckon there's hope for you lot yet. Good old Giedlo, eh? The Shadowbringers, honey nut Felios. Adventurers make great songs, Maeve. Performance I shan't soon forget. My breast still thrums from the joy of the experience. Cannot thank you enough, Maeve. Our recruits are more motivated than ever before. No sooner did we arrive back in Gridania than they rushed off to train. I believe I'll go and join them. I'll continue what you and Jahantel started, and help them to become the finest bards they can be. Giedler, you are coming too, yes? You did say you would get to know them. Aye, when I'm in the mood, which I'm not. Right now, I need to reflect on my experience. Let it really soak in, you know? So I'm going to spend some time alone with my harp. Waggles eyebrows. If you're going to play the harp, at least let the recruits listen. Forgive me, Maeve, but I must be away. Thank you for a wonderful performance. Passionate as they are, I doubt not that they will find their way. Allow me to thank you as well, Maeve. Truth be told, I too had longed to perform with you for quite some time. It was a truly sublime experience, as if our music had floated to the heavens and rained down upon all creation. The music of that rain, I believe, reached the souls of the fallen, my departed comrades of the gods' quiver. As it reached the heart of an old man who has long lived in quiet penance, it woke memories of the passion I had in my youth, when I yet stood on the field of battle. All of this because of a single song, young one. A song born from your hiccups. Generations hence, full certain am I that the song will still be sung, awakening passion in countless more souls. It gives me great pride to know that I was a part of its creation. Thank you for all this material that I'm going to immediately sell. Yay! What title did that give us? Song Upon the Wind, which is a nice enough title. I'm going to head over to Crystarium, because I'm going to go chat to your friend and mine, that librarian guy, whose name I'm completely blanking on. Ethernet, what do I want? I want the Cabinet of Curiosity. So, this is my home, this is where I live in Final Fantasy. This is the place that's the best place in this expansion. It's this beautiful giant library that I want to spend the rest of my life in. Literally and figuratively, in and out of game. Hi, buddy. Will you be revisiting old material, or breaching any subject entirely, perchance? Speak about Ardbert and his companions. What's this? A tale for the history books, you say? Well then, I should be very interested to hear it. This is extraordinary. The warriors of light were not as I imagined them. Their weary souls standing at Minfilia's side to halt the very flood they caused, and Ardbert lending you a strength as you fought for the first. My mind is a whirl. I must recall these revelations on parchment. There must needs be a new chapter written, a revised account. Do you not see, Maeve? This all comes back to the words the Exarch spoke to the people of the Crystarium. We shall fight on, that our children and our children's children might know a better tomorrow. The warriors of light were the very embodiment of that sentiment. Shall speak with Cielia to learn more? You mean the server, yes, at the Wandering Stairs? Never known her to be a borrower of history books, but if you're adamant she has truth to share, then I shall be sure to pay her a visit. That's pretty dope. I love that her armour and her swords, I'm pretty certain that's the Deep Shadow gear. I'm kind of tempted to pop over to Yulmore and have a look, but I think it is. It's so lovely here. Like, it's just heaven, you know? Just don't question how you're supposed to get up onto those. There's like an entrance there. I wonder actually if... No, there's no way up from above. It's like there's these doors, but no way to actually, like... get over there. Because I can't... The door that I failed to run out of would be going into, like, the lake there. Same. The Crystarium is so lovely, so... Okay, bye Fi, take care. I'm actually about to end off soon, because it's nearly 11 o'clock and I need a bit of a break before Pisa later, so... Yeah, the Crystarium is absolutely stunning. It's just... Oh, it's still raining. It's just really, really lovely here. It just always looks pretty. And I love it a great deal. But seeing as indeed it is nearly 11 o'clock, well it's, you know, 10 to 11, but we've come to a pretty good end in proceedings here, I think. So I am actually going to end stream off here. I'm going to say thank you so much for watching. It is very, very much appreciated, and I hope that you enjoyed. If you are watching from Bi-Fi Stream, as I said, my name is Mochi. I am a variety streamer. I stream a whole wide range of games. And on Thursday I will be streaming Hyper Light Drifter, where I am going to kill that West boss. Even if it takes me 2.5 hours to do it, I'm gonna kill it. Then on Saturday I will be streaming Mass Effect Andromeda, where we are going to be exploring around Eos and seeing what the sitch is there now that we've met PB. Sunday will be more Destiny 2, where we're just going to keep pushing ahead with the story now that we've done those side quests. I still really don't understand what's going on, but I'm sure it'll be fun. I did actually read up a summary of Destiny 1, so have vaguely more of an idea. And then next Tuesday will be more Final Fantasy XIV. I haven't yet decided what I'm gonna do. It might just be like roulettes and raids and stuff like that. But I'm aware that that's not the most interesting content while we wait for 5.1 to come out. So we'll see. I'll think about that and I'll get back to you on that. I'm currently doing the story on my alt, so it might be that we like hop over to Arshad and we're doing the story again on him, and you know, that might be what we're doing. So I'm doing the story on and off on him, so it's not going to be like streaming the whole thing again like I did with Maeve, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm just going to see who's live to see who could go host. Right, I'm just gonna go ahead actually and let my auto host kick in and see who I wind up hosting. But take care everyone, thank you very much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. I hope that you enjoyed, and I will see you guys on Thursday. Did I briefly forget what day it was? Sure did.